The Aaron's 312 on Fox is brought to you by Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership. Let Aaron's drive your dreams home today. Welcome back to Talladega, where we're getting set for the restart. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading Mike Wallace, Joe Nemechek, Shane Meal, and Mike Bliss. Still 20 cars on the lead lap. 57 to go.
Michael Waltrip, in case we didn't mention, he came to pit road with 1 to go and topped off. That was on lap 60, which means 57 to go. He feels sure he can make it from here.
Yeah, but you know something, Larry, I was thinking about that. These other guys must think they can make it as they are. Michael's not running all that good. He might not have put a good enough tune-up on his car. He may be burning a little too much fuel.
And, of course, under those cautions, 1 caution equals about 2 green laps. They did have 2 cautions, so that helps the fuel mileage as well.
3 wide as they go around David Green, and squeezed up toward that wall is Joe Nemechek. They're going to make it past okay.
He don't want to waste no time, not let Dale Earnhardt Jr. get too far away from him. Shane Mill in the 48 pulls right back in behind him.
Now, Junior and his crew had a discussion after their pit stop. Here it is.
Gas mileage is getting better, like maybe too good though, you know, but we didn't spill nothing, but it's just conserve on the caution, but we should be fine. I know you don't like hearing that. You're all or nothing, and you're the toggle switch man, but as soon as they throw the green, you throw that toggle switch on, you're good. Just help us on the caution.
That's what Kevin Manion was telling him right there.
4th gear, just cruising along.
He's the toggle switch man. That means he's either on or off. Don't give me that halfway stuff or park throttle stuff.
And Darrell, this is one of the few places at 70 miles per hour behind the pace car you could get by with running the pace laps or caution laps in 4th gear.
Yeah, what he's doing is he doesn't want to work the squirters in the carburetor. It's not a lot, but it will, you know, burn a tad more fuel, and sometime you'd give anything for another half gallon.
All right, let's go to Matt with Earnhardt's crew chief, Bono.
Well, Bono, we heard your conversation with the toggle switch man, but we didn't hear your conversation with Brian Patty. What did that consist of?
I'm not too sure. He's asking for a little bit of help. When we were running behind him, he stayed up on the high line to help us out, and he just wanted us to get him out of the lap cars and stay up there and help him get past, and so we can kind of have a race to the end. About 6 or 7 cars that looked like they could win the race, so our goal was to get out front. And I think we can make it here on gas, so it'll be close.
Daytona winner, man on a mission, also looking for a Talladega win. Jeannie.
Well, why don't I recap a conversation that Michael Waltrip had with his crew chief, Bobby Kennedy. He came in for just a splash of gas, 2 stops this time around. He said, are we good to go the rest of the way? The answer, 10-4. Michael asked, if there's another caution, will I be able to stay out? 10-4.
Waltrip restarted 19th. He's now climbed to 13th.
And he's back in there in a pack of cars that are racing really, really hard. Made some contact through the trial last time. A couple of them did.
And if they can ever get that group to line up, you know, they maybe will be able to go up there and catch that lead group if the other group gets to racing each other side by side.
I don't know. They may, but they better hurry up and do it.
Yeah, right now it's about 2.5 seconds back to that pack, and yeah, with the group that's leading that front pack, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Joe Nemechek, that's going to be awfully tough to do.
Did you ever come up to a construction delay or accident delay on the highway and wish everybody would get single file? It's the same thing. There's always somebody who's got a blast down the side and somebody who's going, me first. Well, there's a whole bunch of them out there.
That's why those 2 tractor and trailers get to running side by side to keep that from happening.
Caution car style. Derek Cope leading that pack with there Brian Vickers, Coy Gibbs, the 54 of Hermie Sadler, and the 22, Tina Gordon, having a great outing here at Talladega. She's in the top 15.
And you know, Mike, we talked about her earlier. I talked to her quite a bit yesterday. Comes from the Craftsman Truck Series. She's 16th in points in that series. And I, you know, you mentioned a 1-race deal. I said, what is your goals here? She said, Larry, I just want to run all 117 laps. She's ran 2 races here in the ARCA series, but she said she knows the Busch series is tougher because the packs are bigger.
Yeah, I saw her in Deborah Renshaw here last year in the ARCA race last fall. I never saw any more intense racing between 2 people than I saw between her and Deborah. They were banging on each other. They got up to 5th place. Then they started racing each other for like, I'm going to be the best finishing girl in this race. And next thing you know, they were running 11th and 12th.
Wow. Up front, Earnhardt Jr. and Joe Nemechek right in his tire tracks, Steve.
And his crew chief, Brian Patty, is checking the numbers. They're not sure if they can make it all the way. I've asked Brian twice, well, can you make it? Thumbs up or thumbs down? He said, I got to check my math again. I'm not sure. It's going to be close.
Well, and Steve, unless they get a caution, they're not going to come to pit road. Joe Nemechek comes here to win the race. He's not racing for points. So you can believe if there's not a caution, they probably won't be at pit road. But I'm going to tell you the guy running in 6th right now, Ashton Lewis Jr. Best finish this year was a 16th back at Rockingham. He's been like the hard luck guy of the Busch Series. They run the Roush GM engines. He's had some engine failures, power steering problems. This would be a great day for these guys if they could get a top 10 finish. And I think maybe his luck has changed because he missed the big wreck.
Mike Harmon was black flagged for running too slow, and now he's pulled his car down to the track apron. He was one of the cars involved in the big wreck at lap 10.
And as you see the cars come down the back straightaway, Dale Jr. is really protecting that inside. If Joe would decide to go to the inside, Dale Jr. is in a position where he could block him against the yellow line. That's the downside to the yellow line. Here particularly, Daytona, a little more, it's a better idea. Here I'd be a little more forgiving, I think.
Jamie McMurray, I finally got the answer on why the yellow car is orange. When the man created the company, he went to order trucks and he said, what color would be the most visible out on the highways? And back in those days, they said swamp holler orange, so all the trucks are that color. Anyway, Dick Berggren.
Well, Jamie McMurray started in 6th position. He is currently running in the 10th spot, and he just keyed the radio and asked his crew chief if they were in trouble. Crew chief said, yeah, that the front group is running away. McMurray said he really doesn't have anything for them. He was a potential winner. The car just isn't right today. To Steve Burns.
Well, Dick, I just checked with Brian Patty again, and he said that he thinks he can make it all the way, but to be on the safe side for right now, he's telling his driver, Joe Nemechek, to ride in behind the 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jeannie Zelasco.
Well, I was just tapped on the shoulder in the 99 pit of Michael Waltrip, and I was told they may be about a half a lap short on fuel. My question, have they told Michael yet? The response, nope.
And Jeannie, they even came to pit road and topped off, but I'm looking at the 2 guys leading the race, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Joe Nemechek, even throw Michael Waltrip in the mix. They don't race for points. They race for wins. Trust me, they will not come to pit road.
I think that 87 knew he needed to draft all the way to the finish hole because he pulled that piece of tape off of there so he could get tucked in behind Dale Jr. Didn't want to get that engine too hot. I say he's just sitting there saving a little fuel right now.
You know, the unique thing about Jamie McMurray in the 1 car is he came into this race 3rd in points. Realistically, he could leave here with the points lead, but he's not going to race Nashville next week. David Stremme will be in that car, but just remember, we talk a lot about this when we refer to the 21 car owner points championship.
Right. And I didn't really research that on Jamie's car. I read it in the Fourth Worth paper last weekend. But still, it's a good story. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads the Aaron's 312.
You're a wealth of knowledge.
Welcome back to the Aaron's 312 on Fox, brought to you by Aaron Sales and Lease Ownership. Let Aaron's drive your dreams home today. One of these drivers dreaming of a victory in the Aaron's 312 here at Talladega Speedway. We've gone through 73 laps. And you see that Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's won 3 of the last 4 Busch Series races that he has run in, is the leader. Joe Nemechek led for 49 laps. Jeff, going back, you know, that crash we had that now involved 22 cars as we count up the total. It has opened the door for some drivers with not a lot of experience to have good finishes here, regardless of who wins the race.
Yeah, we really have. We got a lot of cars up there right now. I think they touched on it just for the break. The Tina Gordon, Hermie Sadler, Derek Cope, name a few. And even the ageless one, Morgan Shepherd right now is 61 years old, is running 15th. And we've got a lot of other guys that have come over
Coy
from
Gibbs, the rookie.
Coy Gibbs, Rick Merkel and everybody, Jay Schuler, all these guys, Jason Schuler. We've got a lot of young guys right now that are running up there, up toward the front, and going to have a pretty good finish here today. But right now, what's going on out front as far as Dale Earnhardt Jr. is concerned is, does he have enough fuel to make it all the way? Same way with Joe Nemechek. Are we playing a little bit of cat and mouse right here? Is actually Joe Nemechek taking advantage of Dale Earnhardt by drafting him and extending his fuel mileage?
And the 59 car, Stacy Compton back in the race. Also Randy LaJoy, who we saw earlier hammering, repairing his car from that big wreck. He's worked his way back here.
Yes, he has. They're back out there and making laps, picking up points. By coming back out, Randy's already picked up, I think, 7 or 8 positions. I'm sure he's going to try to run a few more and pick up as many positions as he possibly can. Again, the big picture is the points, and you saw the driver in there working with the crew feverishly trying to repair that car and get it back on the racetrack, and he did so.
9 of the top 13 involved in points were involved in that crash. But again, Dale Earnhardt Jr., your leader, and setting the tone maybe for what we'll see tomorrow on Fox in the 500-mile race when Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes for his 4th straight Talladega win in Winston Cup, and that's never been done before. Let's go back upstairs, rejoin Mike, Larry, and Darrell.
Dale Jr. at 75 laps the leader. Joe Nemechek has led 49 laps so far.
And just believe, these guys aren't just riding around. No. And there's a couple of guys here that are little reminders. Watch Shane Mill here in the 48, Mike Wallace in the 4. Of course, they had a little run-in down in Rockingham earlier this year, you know, and boy, Mike got the back. Look at that. Ow! The Gecko took a bite out of the back bumper of that Gould's car there. Hello.
Yeah. After their crash at Rockingham, the two drivers were yelling and trading insults, and you know, it's kind of like which car gets stopped for speeding. It was Mike Wallace's that got caught on our camera, and he drew a pretty substantial fine.
And but see, that's how racing is. Look, they got to work together today. Today, they may not be best friends, but they got to work together for the better of both of them.
Right behind them, Mike Bliss, who's had great finishes since starting the season off 33rd at Daytona. And here's Ron Hornaday back at 7th place, leading this pack of 4. Dick Berggren.
And his crew chief is Ricky Byers. Now, we talk to crew chiefs about fuel. Tell me, will you be honest with me? Can you really tell me, can you make it all the way?
Yeah, we can go all the way. Honestly, we can go all the way. Ron's done a really good job. Of course, we missed a big wreck. We hurt ourselves a little bit on this last pit stop. And right now, there's nothing we can do but just kind of hang on and hope the guys behind us can push us up to the front. I think when they start dicing it up and get side by side, that's when we'll catch them.
All right, good luck. Jeannie?
Michael Waltrip got the word. He radioed into his crew chief and said, okay, tell me, can we really go the distance here? What do I have? 1 lap short, a half lap? What is it? And Bobby Kennedy broke it to him. He said about a half lap. Here is the good news for the 99. He says he is not running wide open, so we should be okay. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything.
You know, Darrell, I know gearing can make a big difference in fuel mileage, but remember Michael Waltrip in his Busch car, he has a Dale Earnhardt Incorporated engine. He has 2 laps less on his fuel than Dale Earnhardt leading this race is going to have. So if they're nervous, you would almost believe, unless they're way different in gearing, that Dale Earnhardt Jr. would be a little bit nervous, his group.
Yeah, tune-up on these engines is really critical. What gear you pull, and then how much, if one jet size can get you another half a mile to the gallon of fuel here. So maybe they just got a little different tune-up.
How much fuel can drafting really save you?
Well, a lot, because as you heard him say, I'm not running wide open, and that's always going to be a plus. One thing I do notice on Dale Jr.'s car, his car's got a little opening in the grill up here at the top, but and I guess there might be a little crack there at the bottom, but not very much. And I noticed on Michael's, he's got quite a bit of grill opening on his car, and that can hurt fuel mileage.
Because it's more drag.
More drag.
You know, as we look at Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car, the one car there you see Michael Waltrip, the 99. Notice a little bit different paint scheme on this race car than when he won at Daytona in February. And the reason it's painted this way, this is commemorating the Dale Earnhardt Tribute Concert. It's going to be the week before the July race at Daytona on June the 28th. A lot of different musicians going to be playing. Brooks and Dunn, Kenny Chesney, Sheryl Crow, the Goo Goo Dolls, Alabama, Hootie in the Blowfish, right there on the front stretch at Daytona International Speedway, the end of June. A lot of neat things going on with that whole thing.
Big E on the hood.
79 down, 38 to go in the Aaron's 312 at Talladega. Joe Nemechek hanging on to Dale Jr.'s bumper.